welcome to this online course called Save Time and Reduce Workload. My name is Nikki Fish and I'm a lead practitioner at Sefton Regional Training Centre, which is based at Kew Woods Primary School in Southport. And we've been a regional training centre for approximately 6 years. Apple Regional Training Centres deliver courses to build the skills and confidence of educators to use Apple technology inside and outside the classroom. We're a community who share best practice and inspire excellence through teaching with Apple technology. We're based in a primary school in Sefton, and we are contactable via our Sefton RTC on Twitter, the website seftonrtc.weebly.com and seftonrtc@qwoods.com. Today's focus is going to be some practical demonstrations where we will hopefully share some useful tips on how to save time and reduce some workload. This is mainly focused around feedback and marking, but also about collaboration and communication. For this session, you're going to need an iPad, which has the camera facility enabled, the gallery so that you can retrieve your photos that you might want to practice with, and also an app called Post-it Plus. 87% of teachers and school leaders cite workload as a number one concern about their job. So therefore, to actually move forward from this, we're wanting to actually reduce that workload in any way that we can. Hopefully, by looking at feedback and marking and some sort of resources and some shared collaboration using technology, we will be able to reduce that workload, and therefore we'll be able to address some of those issues. Starting off first of all then with feedback and marking. The Education Endowment Foundation report stated that the use of targets to make marking as specific and actionable as possible is likely to increase pupil progress, and also that pupils are unlikely to benefit from marking unless some time is set aside to enable pupils to consider and respond to marking. Therefore, when feeding back in the classroom situation, the iPad camera app can be used to capture a student's piece of work. This image can then be used to be displayed in front of the whole class using the screen or an interactive whiteboard. For this demonstration, you're going to need the camera app because we're wanting to take a photo of the work that we're wanting to share with our class or our pupils. So clicking open the camera app, we're wanting to take a photo of the work that we're wanting to share on the screen. This would then be able to be seen by all children. So if we take a photo of this work here that might have been in a book or it might have been sent to us, we can then open that document in our gallery. If you don't click on that and you close the camera app, we can then open the gallery and select it that way. To get that then from your device up to the screen, we need to swipe down from the top right hand corner, and you get this little section of different icons for you to select from. The one that we're wanting so that we can screen mirror over onto the board or onto a display that you might have set up is screen mirroring. If you click on screen mirroring, all of the devices that you're able to cast to would be listed on those sections there. As I have none, that means that there's none in my location for me to share to. So therefore it indicates to me that I can't screen mirror to share this. But if you have AirPlay and you have Apple TV, you would be able to screen mirror to your screen for you to share this by clicking on the select location. Often they're named as classes or as computers or as people, however that has been set up. And you would click on that section and it would screen mirror. Once you've clicked on that section, you can come back out of that by just clicking on it. You can share your screen for however long that you need it sharing for. And then to cancel that screen mirroring, you would slide it down again, click on the screen mirroring again, and you would then at the bottom be listed a stop mirroring sign. You click on stop mirroring and all the ticks would be erased from next to those locations that you're eligible to share with. Screen mirroring is a good method of how you can feed back to a whole class. When feeding back on a pupil's work, written comments can be added using the markup tool. Selecting the image from the gallery, you can use the edit function so that you can mark up. For this demonstration, you're going to need to open the photo gallery. On the photo gallery, you will have the photos of the children's work, your pupils' work that you are wanting to mark and provide feedback. If you've not got this, you can take a photo and do this the same way. But once it's in the gallery, you will have the option to edit, top right-hand corner. Now here you would normally just adjust the photo in the same way as what you would adjust normal photo with the light, the colour, the contrast, the filters. But there's also another option that you can mark up. So you click the three dots at the top right hand corner and it provides you with the tool to mark up. And this gives you a toolbar along the right hand side. On this toolbar you can select the pen or the highlighter that you might need, or the rubber if you make a mistake, and then you can start to edit where you're wanting to provide feedback. So I would just start marking on a few things here. I might mark on a comment needing more information here so that they can see. I might highlight that we've got a little bit of an error there that's repeating, whatever feedback that you're wanting to actually provide them. If you're struggling to actually write because you don't have an Apple Pen and you are really needing to be more precise with where it's needing to have that text, you can add that text by clicking on the plus symbol at the bottom. And where it says text, it will bring up a text box. Now, clicking in the text box allows you to bring up the keyboard and you can then type what you're wanting. Once you've created that, you can then move it. So like if I hadn't written that there, I could then add that there and I would be able to then alter that size with the little symbol where it's got AA on the right hand side. You can change the font if you want in a different font, change the size, changing your layout. Okay. Once you have created that feedback, you can click on done and that document is now saved as a photo for you to provide for your pupil by clicking on the done section and then sharing it the way that you would normally share, either via email, airdropping, saving it onto their Google Classroom, their Teams, onto Google Drive, whichever way you would share their work back with them. When you have used the markup tool to actually provide that feedback, you can also airdrop this work to the students or also to colleagues or parents or whoever would like to see that. You would normally do the sharing via email or maybe a store cloud, but a quick and easy way to share documents is using AirDrop. Once written feedback has been completed, you may wish to use voice feedback to evaluate the strengths and the areas where the student could improve. You first of all need to check that it's turned on by going into your settings, entering the control centre, entering customised controls and checking that screen recording is allowed. Once you've done that, you can open up your photo of your marked work and then the same way as swiping down to screen mirror, you can bring up the icons where it is a little circle for screen recording. In the first image you'll see at the bottom there's a circle with a small dot in the centre. Now this is white when it's not recording and it turns red when it is recording. But prior to you actually clicking on to start the recording, you need to check that your microphone's turned on. And to do this, you press and hold that icon. The second screen shows you that the microphone is on by it having it indicated red. And you would then click on where it says start recording. It would give you a countdown from 3, and this is the time where you can then cancel your screen by swiping up and getting rid of the icons and bringing up the photo that you're wanting to provide feedback for. It will then start to show that it's recording in the top right hand corner with a little red line and the red symbol that shows that you're screen recording. Once you've finished your verbal feedback, you can swipe down from the top right hand corner again and click on the red dot this time to stop. It will flash a few times and then it will indicate that your screen recording has been saved in your photos. This will then be retrieved by opening up your gallery and seeing where your videos are saved. This is a good way to provide that verbal feedback that you can then share with your pupils so that they can actually hear your comments of their strengths and maybe areas where they can actually improve. Moving on to our next section, we're going to look at curriculum planning and resources and how we can actually make it easier and less time consuming when we want to share with colleagues. When we're collaborating resources with one another, it can be very time consuming when you need to attach to an email to share. When we're located in close proximity, we can airdrop from one device to another using this feature. Most of the time, files can be stored in our cloud storage or on our iPad, and we can access them using the file icon and the file app, and then we can send it via AirDrop. For this demonstration, I'm going to show you how you can use a document or a file from your files and airdrop it to somebody who is within your close proximity. So you need to open up your file and select the file that you're wanting to share. If you click onto it and hold it down, it will give you a list of options that you have. So I'm wanting to share this with somebody, and my airdrop is there. Now if I click onto there, I've got my phone that I can share it with because my phone is next to me and my phone is actually active because my screen is on. If my phone becomes inactive, it will go off and you will see that it drops out and there's nobody there. So I just need to have my phone active by having my screen on. When I select that, you might have heard the beep on my phone and it's waiting. That's waiting for me to actually action it on my phone, and it's saying AirDrop. My iPad is liking to share the collaborations page. Do I want to decline or do I want to accept it? I will accept it, and you can see it's been sent, and then I will have that on my device too. I can click on done, and then I would be able to select somebody else if I would like to send it to somebody else. If the person doesn't come up onto your selection of AirDrop devices, then it could be that your AirDrop isn't on to share with people who are not in your friendship groups or your contact list. So swipe down from your top right hand corner, and if you press and hold on the AirDrop symbol, and if you press and hold, it gives you this option here. So you can receive, you can AirDrop to contacts only, and you can AirDrop to everyone. Make sure that's on everyone if they're not in your contact list. And then try again by holding down the document that you're wanting to share with, AirDrop, and then selecting the people. Might have a number of people if you're in a room that has more than one device that's on AirDrop mode. So you can click on them and they would get the indication on their device that you would like to share it, and they would have to accept, and then you can just click on to done when you've done. If they don't accept it and they decline it, it will come up on your device to say that it's been declined. If I just decline this one here, I'll show you. You can see now that it's been declined because I've not actually accepted that on my device, and you know that that's not been shared. If you're not in close proximity, another way to share documents and resources is via cloud storage. There are different cloud storage providers available, including Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, Dropbox, Box, and many, many more. All cloud storage can be accessed and shared using files. For this demonstration, I'm going to show you how you can share a file using a cloud storage. So find the location of the file on your files section of your device. It might be in your cloud storage, it might be on your own iPad. I've got mine here on my cloud storage, and I'm going to show you how you can then swap that to sending it to maybe an alternative cloud storage like Drive or like Teams, something like that, Dropbox, that you might have for cloud storage that's collaborative with your team. So click and hold down the document that you're wanting to share, and then click on the share icon. You can then select where you're wanting to share. Now mine's listed as Drive there, I've got Box, I've got my classroom, and you could select any of those. I'm going to click on select on Drive. This is in my documents and my Drive, so I can save it here because I know where that is, and then you just click on upload. That's actually sending a copy over to my Drive. So that will still remain on your iCloud Drive because that's the location of where it's been saved on here, but I've now got a copy of that on my Drive as well, on Google Drive, for me to open and share with my colleagues if that's the system that you use to collaborate with your team. Moving on to our final section today, we're going to look at some different ways we can communicate and different ways that we can support our own communication and group them together. Have you ever been asked to do something and thought, I must write that down so I don't forget? I'm doing it all of the time. Or sometimes you might get feedback from pupils via post-it notes and not know how to collate them. Using the Post-it Plus app, this will be something that you can do, and then you will have a document where they're all in one location. For this demonstration, we're going to use an app called Post-it Plus. And the Post-it Plus icon looks like the regular trademark for Post-it notes. If you open up the Post-it app, and we're going to capture a new list of Post-its. I've got several Post-its here where I've written some notes of some reminders to do, some things that I need to do. So I'm going to capture. So at the bottom right hand corner there's the capture button to click on there. And you can see that there's my Post-it notes. I've just written some rough notes, and I can just click on the camera, hold it down, and it captures that there. You can enter the board name at the top there, so I'm going to call this week 1, and you might date it or however you want to organise it. And then you can see that I've got ticks on all of the Post-it notes. It's actually picked it up like scanning a document, and it's recognised them. Occasionally you get a cross and it doesn't pick it up. If so, it could be the light, it could be the way that the text is, it might be a pen that's a bit too light and not dark enough on the actual Post-it note, or it could be the Post-it notes crumpled over so that you can't actually see it properly. But I can see that I've got ticks on all of those, so it has actually picked them all up. So I can click on Create. And there's my Post-it note collection there, the title of this collection, and we can just see if we want to have a little look. It is actually trying to get the text into a form that they are noticing. So as you can see here, the writing get milk has actually been transferred to got mill, and haircut has been transferred to hair core. So sometimes it doesn't necessarily pick up the actual text if you're wanting to actually transfer that to a section that you are wanting to see. If you click in the title there, you can order them a little bit more easier by clicking on the different icons there, and you can also edit the title at the top there if you're wanting to edit it later on. Once you've done that, you might want to save this as a photo. If it's a collection of Post-it notes maybe that you have asked your class to make notes on, you might want to send that as a collective group section of Post-it notes, and if you do, then you would have to save that as a photograph or a PDF, and you can send that. There we go, there's the options of how you can export this board. So I would save it as an image, and then you can save your image to your document. So halfway down, save image, and that saves to your documents. So now in my photos, I can see I have got my week 1, I have got my Post-it notes there, and I would be able to share that if I wanted to with a selection of people, and I've also got a copy myself. So that's a good way to actually collect and keep those Post-it notes so that you can then go back to them to see whether those to-do lists or those group sessions are needing action in, and you have got them saved in one location in your gallery so that you're not having to carry around a handful of Post-it notes to then be able to action at a later date. There are also lots of apps to enhance school communication, and we've got 3 sections here. We've got students, parents and staff. For students, Showbie is a very good app which allows teachers to easily send work and set tasks for students to complete. Show My Homework supports teachers to set and track homework tasks. And Google Classroom provides the ability for teachers to set student tasks and collect their work. Seesaw is also another good one that allows students to upload their work so that the teachers and the parents can provide comments and encouragement. Tapestry is an early years learning journal which can be shared with parents, alongside another platform called Too Simple Evidence Me, which is very, very similar. And also, finally, class dojos help teachers build a positive classroom culture by encouraging students and communicating with the parents. For the staff to communicate around school, Slack is a platform used by many schools for day-to-day communications, which replaces email. Microsoft Teams provides a single shared workspace for teamwork within Office 365 alongside Google Drive. And iMessage can be used to streamline quick communication rather than relying on emails. There's a resource here by Matt Pullen. This is a free book that's designed by Matt himself, which gives you some ideas of how to create efficiencies and cut workload when using Apple technology. The QR code is there for you to scan so that you can actually get this book, or alternatively, if you just enter his name into your iBooks, you'll be able to find it there. So you want to cut workload. Finally, we want to reflect and share your ideas. I want you to think how you will use the technology to reduce your workload in your setting. And in the link at the bottom of this video, you will see a link so that you can complete a short survey to feed that back to me so I can gather that information. Finally, the only thing that's left to say is thank you for listening.